What's up, YouTubers? I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on NBC's new TV show, Revolution. I saw episode 1 last night, which was the pilot, and overall there was really nothing exciting about it. Now, like when I originally saw the advertising, the trailers for this, I was like, oh, hey, another show that NBC's going to cancel. After all, they are known for nothing but cancellations, NBC. And you know, the trailer really didn't catch my attention in the sense of like, oh, I'm going to set my TiVo or my DVR to this so I'll be able to catch it. And even while I was watching it, it was relatively, in my opinion, a slow-paced pilot. It wasn't that really interesting. The concept behind it was interesting. But overall, there was just too many cliche things going on. You got your, you know, your girl and your boy, and the brother's kidnapped. And when I say girl and boy, basically like this, I don't know, wannabe love interest going on. And he works for the bad guys, but he ends up helping her twice. Second time after she finds out that he's with the militia. And I was like, that's a little generic. I mean, you know, there's a variety of ways they can play that out, that he's just doing it to get further in, which would be somewhat original because you don't see a lot of people doing that. But if they're going to go with the same cliche style of like, oh, he's bad, but he's going to go to the good side, then it's like, yeah, I don't really care. This almost it looks like or seems like it's going to be like Twilight, no vampires. You know, and take the love story and stick it in Revolution, and that's what you got. I mean, you have basically a lead female teenage actor. Yeah, you got her uncle who's a badass, quote unquote. But ultimately, I really didn't see him being a badass believable. Yeah, there is a flashback to somewhat explain why he's considered a badass, but overall, I felt it was really generic. I think it would have been a lot better if they would have actually started the show like when the lights literally went out. I mean, you saw that in the trailers, but you really didn't see that in the actual first pilot episode. And I was just like, yeah, it was relatively ridiculous. The ending of it was abysmal in my opinion of the episode. I mean, it's not an ending that was like, oh, I totally got to tune in to episode 2 to watch this to see what happens. I didn't get that feeling. I didn't get that vibe from this particular television show. In fact, when it ended and the chick, minor spoiler alert real quick, there's a chick at the end of this episode that has the same device as the father that was died of the young daughter that's got to go get her uncle, all right? The guy that he gave it to is with them, traveling with them. Well, apparently this isn't the only device. So as I was sitting here watching, I was like, well, now that makes it a little unbelievable. Why would they just solely seek out her family, her father, her uncle, that type of thing, about these devices when there's more than one? And you think it would be a little more knowledge that the people that have these devices are span out, which would allow the militia to actually go and look individually for these individuals that have these devices. Now, that may show up later on in the actual show, but ultimately that's not how they portrayed it in the first episode. And I just thought it was a little dismal. I mean, it was very slow paced in my opinion. The action that was there really wasn't there in terms. I mean, it wasn't exciting to see him, you know, beating the crap out of the militia. I was just sitting there like, okay, yeah, so someone says to shoot him, and just, you know, by ironic, the guy must be a really crappy shot. You know, cliche stuff all the way around. Overall, this seems like something that NBC is going to do two things. Number one, they're going to cancel it because it's probably going to lose views over time. You know, we're talking like season 1 or season 2, and it's going to get pulled. Or that they're going to continue it on and on and on and just drag out the entire story with a bunch of filler episodes that really ain't going to amount to anything. If you actually look at the concept of Revolution, the fundamental story that you're introduced to, you sit there and you look at that, well, they should be able to punch this entire story out in like 1-2 season tops. If it goes beyond that, then you know there's just way too many filler episodes and they're just basically trying to BS it now, all right? So overall, I'm not very excited about this within itself. I mean, will I tune in to the next episode? More than likely, but I'm not going to set my TiVo DVR for it. It's basically if I remember, oh, it's on, I'll go check it this second episode out. But other than that, it looks like it's going to be another NBC nothing but cancellation to add to their cancellated TV shows that they've done in the past.